Okay, folks, I'm replacing the screen on the Nintendo Switch HEG-001. The screen doesn't display anything, so that's why we're replacing it. I pretty much started the disassembly process. First, I had to remove the back cover. There's certain screws you have to remove. You'll get to see me put all the screws back in the same order I removed them. You gotta remove the two in pad controller pads. You have to remove this plate, the heat sink plate, and try not to disturb that grease right there, the pink heat sink grease. And I used the HEG-001 screwdriver, plus screwdriver, and a Y 1.0 bit, Y screwdriver bit. I've removed the main Wi-Fi assembly, and I keep all the screws together. These screws here came off the back plate, so I could set this over here. I try to keep everything in order. Okay, that one screw came off. There's a secondary Wi-Fi antenna, but I don't remove it completely. I just get it out the way, so that you got to remove it so that you can remove the plate. And then this tape was holding down the antenna. I put it on a waxy piece from shipping envelope. That way I can reuse that tape. I made sure I removed all games and SD cards, memory cards, whatever. So now I'm at the point of disconnect the battery and take off the daughter board so that I can get to the cable for the screen, and then we'll go from there. Then we got to remove the screen, put the new one on, and double-sided tape the new one. The screen I bought didn't come with a double-sided tape, so I'm gonna have to tape it. All right, so the next process is to remove this battery. I just put my spudger up under the power and try to pry it up. It just mashes down in place, just like so. Just lift it straight up. All right, so there's a screw here that's hidden under a piece of tape. You gotta remove that piece of tape. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Looks like you can. Okay, so I'll put that piece of tape here. Hopefully I don't forget it. It's so white. You can see it blends in. Okay. Remove this screw. That one screw, I'll put it with the tape. That way I know it goes with the tape. And I believe I should be able to pry this up now. Pry the daughter board up. So daughter board aside. Now there's the screen cable there. Which doesn't bode well for me, I think. Alright, so we'll be doing it like this here, more than likely. It'll be folding over like that, so it'll come up through like so. Yeah, I messaged the seller of this screen and they said it wouldn't match. So 43 pin connector, 43 pin connector. It's Mark 1 to 43. So you have to flip this up, flip that up gently, and you should be able to slide the cable right out, just like so. Okay. The cable. So slid the cable out. And flip the beige piece up. So it flips up. Gotta be careful. If you break that, it'll never clamp back down the way it should. So now I have to remove the screen assembly. I'm going to I'll apply a little heat to the edges and work my way around. So my heat gun is over at the heat station, so it's one assembly. I'm tempted to pour alcohol in there, but I don't know if alcohol is going to get in a bad place. Sometimes you can just put alcohol in there, it'll break down the tape. I may be able to do that. Put alcohol right along this area here. But give me a second. I'll be right back. Screen assembly is already not working, so even if I crack it a little, it's okay. Put a little alcohol right in the edges here. I don't see any electronics that'll be under the board on this side, but alcohol is not going to damage electronics. It actually evaporates very fast. So I have the antenna assembly there. I could remove it all the way just to be safe. It's fed in there up under notches. So what I am going to do is remove it. Just get it out of there. Just get it out the way. Take it out of there. Set it down. The button assembly is moving around. Gotta be careful not to damage the button assembly. Okay. So I got a metal spudger. I'm gonna see if I can get under there without having to use a suction cup. And it don't feel like it, so let me try a suction cup. If not, I'll heat it. Sometime when they're cracked. Okay, so I'll probably have to heat this. Let me see. It's not letting me under there. No, it's not. So I'll give it I'm gonna have to heat it a little. Sometimes alcohol works, sometimes it doesn't. a little bit. Let's see if I can get it to come up now. Still not ready to come up. Okay, I got the heat. You can see the screen got discolored, but I was able to get a razor blade under there instead of the spudger, just to get a sharper edge. My spudger edge is pretty close, but just to get a sharper edge. And then pretty much you can go along and just cut the tape. You're not worrying about cracking the screen because the screen is already cracked. In general, I'd like to use metal to get it going, and then plastic on anything I open up, just in case there's something under there you don't want damaged. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat this side up also, and it'll slide right around. I'm using a heat gun from a soldering station that I have. But you can use any source of heat. Next time maybe I'll have the camera over there. But see how it slides off like butter? I just heat it up a little bit more and it slides right off. Just like that. Simple as that. And as you can see, there's the cable feeding through. LCD. It probably has some kind of glue along here. I'll clean this area up, and I think maybe I might wind up using glue also. I got some good double-sided tape. The tape would have to stick to this stuff, and this stuff is kind of hard. Some of that stuff off. I'm using the X-Acto blades. I know someone's going to ask. They're number 18 blades. I use them for scraping, or for prying also. pretty easy to use. Makes life a little easier, especially when I do iPads. You peel the glass up, the old glass up. Quickest way to get to a clean surface for your new adhesive. I try not to do this thing towards myself because you don't want it to slip. But I easily do it. Get most of this stuff out of here so it'll seat properly. Clean as thorough as possible. Hopefully you can see this stuff, what I'm doing. I think I got plenty. It's plenty clean there. And take a little brush and brush the rest of them crumbs out of there. Clean it up some. All right. So screen is exactly identical. Everything looks the same electronics. So hopefully this was the problem with this thing. Let's get this installed. Feed it through. Looks like it's going to be okay, so it's going to fit. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is go ahead and get my adhesive installed. Looks like I'll be using this. Got some 3M adhesive here that works pretty good most times, so it should be fine. Scissors. Okay. Right in place. shelf. The shelf is a little shorter, so as I put it on, I make sure it gets a good contact. And as close up in the edge, up in the crevice, as close as you can get. Just using the spudge's edge to scrape it hard, that make it stick in place. Okay, now for the edge. This edge got to be exact, right there. If it overlaps a little on the outside of the glass, you can always cut it off. But I just rather have it have a good contact with the glass and the ledge. Now I'm using the tweezers the same way I use a spudger. So I can apply more pressure on this than I can on the back of the glass. That's why I apply it to this instead of the glass. I don't want to crack the edges of the glass. Then you have to order a whole new glass, a whole new LCD rather. Flip this around and do it the same way I did the other way. Hopefully. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug the screen up. Then I'll start removing the adhesive. I don't want the adhesive to stick until I can actually get the screen connected and in place. So feed it through. Try to line it up and get it in. It's a challenge, but it can be done. Push it all the way in, up to the little tabs. If I can get closer, the little tabs are on each end of the cable. Those little tabs right there, you push it all the way up till they stop. And then you hold them in place, hold the cable in place, and snap it down. So there it is in place. Hopefully you can see that. So now I can flip this over and I can proceed to peeling off the adhesive. Double-sided adhesive. I'm trying not to let the screen touch it until I'm ready to put it down. This feels like this side doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm pulling up the whole tape and I don't want to pull up the whole tape. Okay. So let's lay the screen down flat. Let's see if we can stick it in place. It's already starting to stick. That didn't want to happen. You want to stick it the first time properly. Doggone it. Okay, we're not ready yet. Okay. I start with one of the corners. That way I know it's even. Corner to corner. And let it come down slowly. Put in least pressure as needed. Not too much pressure. Once I get the whole assembly back together, I'll apply a little more pressure, but I'm not going to lock it just yet. Okay, so excuse me. So the screen is installed. That's the most important part. I think everybody wants to see is see the screen get installed. So the screen is installed. Time to put everything back. I'll put everything back in the opposite direction that I took it off. That way, if you missed the beginning, or you're wondering why I didn't show the very beginning, you'll get to see what actually took place in the reverse. So the first thing we're going to do is put the daughter board back and put the one screw back and the one piece of tape. Basically, it just goes in place like so. Like that. One screw. The tip of my screwdriver is magnetized. Put the daughter board back. Put a piece of tape back. Mash it down. I imagine it'll stay in place. You can see, you can see that. All right. I'm gonna put the Wi-Fi back in because you got to be able to feed that up under, back where it went. So basically, there's two notches up under there, and the Wi-Fi cable goes under both of them and then comes out. put it back the way it was. I would need my microscope to show you what it looks like down in here. So if you ever do this job, you'll get the picture. Okay, let's make sure everybody can go where they need to go. Okay. And make sure I can get, it goes over here. I just want to make sure I can make it, make sure I got enough wire out. So if I put this on there, it goes into so, like so. Let's see, it goes like that there, so I got more wire that I have to bring through. So I need some more through. Let's get it all the way to where it bent around that post right there. Come on, get in there. All right. There's a curve in the wire, and I'm just matching that curve up. That way, when it actually puts it on here, still I'm too far over. No, I'm too far in. Okay, one more shot. All right, let's see. So it sits there like that. I push the wire in, or I pull the wire through. I need it about right there. Okay. So now I know where the wire needs to be. All right, let's tuck that under there. There's a little notch under the inside that you got to tuck the wire under, and it locks it down. Once I get into place, I'll do a zoom. If you don't remember how it went or where it goes, you can always take a picture before you disassemble it. That's my practice on a lot of stuff. I just take a picture. That way, if I get distracted or I gotta stop and do something else and come back a couple hours later, I ain't gotta remember, well, where did this go? Where did I move this? And it's kind of dark in there, under there, but we're getting it. Okay, now that was something. That was something. Let me see if I can get this on camera so you can see. See if I can get this on camera. Can I zoom in on that? Let me hold it with this hand and try to zoom in. So that's what I was after. Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to get it, have enough wire hanging out. I was trying to have enough wire hanging out right there, and then get it up under there, and it has to go behind that guide and that guide, and then up under there. So that's what I was fighting to do. With a little patience and a little time, you can get it done. So now if I go here, if I put this where it's going to go, it should be perfect. And it's perfect. Just a screw. All right. So the next thing we have to do is put the power supply back. Push the power supply connector back on. smash it into place. Nothing special. All right. Put the metal plate back on. Look. Start with a letter A. Start with a letter A. You can text it to me and then I'll send you the. Okay, let's get this plate back on. I'm not going to mess with none of that. I'm going to just leave it the way it was. Heat sink, I didn't touch it. So the plate, this corner goes up under there. That's why we had to remove the second Wi-Fi. So let's get it out the way. Line it up. Let it drop in place. Put all the screws back. What I did was I marked these screws with where they came from, because it's got other holes. So I just took a magic marker and just made a line to where those screws were. This is my Phillips. I set the screws on a magnet pad also in the same position they were in. That way they go back in the same spot. So the Wi-Fi module was stuck to this double-sided adhesive right here. So I had to pry it up like this here once I took out the one screw. So I'll stick it back onto that double-sided adhesive and put that one screw back into place. That's that screw there. Make sure it's in position. Pull it down. Okay, it's back in place. All right, so now the other Wi-Fi module. Has double-sided adhesive right here, and this module sits right on top of it, just like so. Just mash it into place. Uh-oh. I hold the screwdriver so loosely so it'll spin freely when the screw is in. That way I don't over tighten the screws. That's why you see it spin in my hand. I hold it as light as possible. Okay, so we got to reroute the Wi-Fi wires. This one was taped down. So I peel back the tape. I lay the wire down in place. Just put tape back over top of it. Get it back in the seat, and it gets plugged up right inside here. Get that tape out the way. And that's the tough part. It's up under there, but if you're patient, get it lined up, and take your spudger, you should be able to push them, snap them on. Heard that? It snapped right on. All right. So it actually should have been going around this guy right here. And so what I would do is, I don't want to take it apart again, so I just loosen the tape and see if I can get a little slack. If not, I'm gonna have to do it that way. Let's see. If I get a little slack. And move it over and under. All right. Come on, tape. You gotta get the tape to cooperate. That tape out of the way, that tape out of the way, and over. It's a tight fit. I should be able to do it. If not, I'll have to disconnect it. Nah, I got it disconnected. Doggone it. Alright. You don't want to break the Wi-Fi internally, the wire internally, so sometimes there's extra slack on most Wi-Fi cables, but this one, they put just enough in there to make it, let it go where it needs to go. Alright. Let's get in the seated slot, seat. Okay, right back here, there's a little tab right there that the Wi-Fi cable goes under, and then it goes through that canal, then around there, and then under there like that. That's the way I should have did it first time, but I thought it was going to be enough wire. Sometimes there's extra wire, sometimes there's not. So I get it in place. You gotta get it lined up pretty good. This time I'm gonna do it this way. Use two tools. Use two tools. Okay, tape it down. It's a close-up. Goes through the tray there to the canal up under that tab right there. And then under the tape, up under there, and then on. This one comes across, goes under, like the other one went under the little metal guide. Got it under the guide. Now I just have to pop it on. Get it in place and pop it on. Snap it in place. Okay. So this one gets taped down. Okay, like such. So that's how it looked originally. I put it exactly back the way it was. All right. If I flip this over, it looks like the screen is sticking well still. So now, we just got the outside screws to put back on and close it back up. So as you see, you didn't miss much when I took it apart. Put the case back on. Okay. These goes down inside. It was kind of tricky getting it open. Push forward and then down, and then you should be able to snap this way. Make sure your buttons aren't in the way. And actually my buttons are in the way. They fell out of the spot they're supposed to be in. But all you can do is put them back. Okay, let's start all over. That needs to go up under there. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we have that in. The button right there, it falls in on you. You got to make it stay down. And it doesn't want to act right. Come on now, stay down. Okay, sometimes it gives me trouble. It gets caught under the heat sink shield right there. Okay. So that's what's giving me trouble. This thing, I need to get it back in. Okay. See, the little tab fell out right from behind that wall, and that's what's giving me trouble. So now let's give it another shot. If I can get in there. Speaker assembly that gives me trouble, but here we go, we're in. So basically I push it in the speaker area, I push in and push forward to get it in, and everything is back in place. So now we put the screws back in the way it came out, and I put the screws on the mat, on the magnet mat, the same way they came out. So these screws came out up under the kickstand, those two screws. They're on the magnet on each end, so I know what screws they were. And also, there's two screws in the back, so I have two screws in the middle. And then there was two screws right here I took out, those two screws. Then you flip it over, there's one screw I took out from there, and then in the back there's one screw. So everything is laid out on the mat, just the way they came out. All right, the two screws that are here are Y's. The rest of them are plus. So you need a Y head. Now the customer told me that this unit plays on an external device, but it just doesn't show up on the screen. So that is why we are replacing the screen. The only way we can determine if it's the screen or not is to replace it. So I think we're comfortable that the problem was the screen. So once we get all the screws back in, we'll turn it on. Okay. This screw goes on this end. One screw from, see the switch, Nintendo switch sign? The one screw came from that side with the Nintendo switch sign forward. The other two screws were here with the Nintendo switch sign forward. There's other screws on the side that does not need to come out. So the screws I took out were behind it on the back side of the Nintendo switch. But this side only had one that needed to come out, not that one or that one. And this side needed those two out, but not that one, in order to get the cover off. All right, last screw. All right, I'm not sure if this thing has a charge or not, but let me try to power it on. And voila, we have a picture. Battery is completely dead, see that? So I'll give it a charge. But as you see, everything works. And it was a successful job. Okay, where's my charger? My charger is right here. Charging wire is right here beside me. I went to get it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, it's starting to charge. So this unit didn't have a charge on it, so I can't, crank it up until it actually gets a charge. But now I'm just going to go around and just rubbing my thumb on the area where I put where the adhesive is at to make the adhesive stick. Make the adhesive stick. Alrighty. And there you have it. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And hopefully this helped you in some sort of way. Actually seen it done, and what you probably run into fighting. We got to fight that Wi-Fi wire back into place and all that good stuff. Put the game back in here so that doesn't come up, disappear. I actually turned it on, and so it still won't fire up until it get a full charge. So that's the end of the video, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll put a link if you'd like to purchase the screen when I post the video. Thanks. Like and subscribe and hit the notification if you want to be notified of my next video.